So what exactly is a registered agent? And is this something you need for your real estate investing business? That's what we're going to talk about right here, right now. So first things first, I'm not an attorney. Please don't take any of this video as legal advice. We're just going to talk about my understanding of what a registered agent is and also how I handle this issue in my various businesses. So what is a registered agent? Well, simply put, a registered agent is an individual or business entity that acts as the official point of contact for your LLC when it comes to legal and government correspondence. So a registered agent receives and handles important documents on behalf of your company. And they also act as like the name and the address behind your company. So it's going to be of public record. Anybody can look up your business entity online. Depending on what state your business entity is in, there's a pretty good chance I could look it up right now and find out who the registered agent is behind that entity and what their mailing address is. So if that's you, and if you put your home address right there, I'm gonna be able to find that. Or if you hired a registered agent to handle this stuff for you, then I would find their information, not your information. But in most states, there needs to be somebody who acts as the registered agent behind that company. So when I started my first LLC, the way that I handled this was I went out and I rented a mailbox near me, and I used that as my business mailing address, and that's actually still the way that I handle it to this day. And then when I sent in the registration paperwork to my state to start that LLC, I just listed myself as the registered agent with that business mailing address as the address. And I did it that way for really years, and it was totally fine because it wasn't my home address, and I felt okay about that, about just having my name out there. But eventually what I did was I went and I found a registered agent online, like what I'm about to show you, and I hired them to kind of be the name and the address behind that LLC. And I did this for a few different reasons. The first was for privacy, just in case somebody was trying to solicit me or find my information or show up and knock on my door or something like that. They wouldn't actually know that unless I gave it to them. If they're just trying to find my information online, the information that they're gonna find is the registered agent that I hired, not my information. The other reason I did this was because my businesses were getting really busy with a lot of different correspondence coming and going. I didn't want to forget to keep renewing my annual filings for my LLC. And that's another thing a registered agent can do when you hire this out, is they will take care of this for you. They will be the ones to send in the paperwork and make sure that your LLC or your business entity, whatever kind you're signing up for, is in good standing. And it's not particularly difficult to do this yourself, but you might be surprised when things really start moving in your business and you get really busy. You don't need one more thing you have to pay attention to, and especially something with this level of importance where if you miss it, your LLC is no longer in good standing. It's something that I just didn't want to have to think about, and I could hire somebody for a pretty reasonable annual fee to take care of this for me. And if you're running a business where you're trying to expand and work in multiple states, then this kind of thing can be even more valuable, because in order to have a registered agent in that state, there needs to be a physical presence with a physical mailing address in that state where they're open during business hours, they can receive mail on your company's behalf. And if you don't actually have that kind of physical presence in the states where you're trying to expand to, then this is going to be almost vital, because someone's got to do this for you. And again, for a pretty reasonable cost, they can handle this for you. So if that sounds like you, and if you could use this kind of help, I'm going to show you how you can get started with a service called Northwest Registered Agent. Takes just a couple minutes. It's really easy. You'll see what I mean. REtipster does have an affiliate link to this website. That link is beneath this video if you want to check it out and help support REtipster, or you can just go to retipster.com/RA. It'll bring you right there. Looks something like this, and all you got to do is go ahead and click on Hire Us and get started this way, and specify the state where your entity is located. And this is kind of based on the assumption that your entity already exists. If you don't have an entity yet, I actually have a separate video that explains exactly how to set one up from scratch and get this kind of service built into it. But all you have to do is scroll down here and specify the state where your entity is located. Mine's in Michigan, so I'm going to select that one, but obviously wherever yours is at, go ahead and select that and then click continue. And assuming you don't have an account yet, you just go ahead and sign up right here. You know the drill, it's pretty easy. Just put your email address and create a password in there, and then put the name of your entity right here and select whether it's an LLC, corporation, nonprofit corporation, or nonprofit LLC, or more options here. I think 9 out of 10 people that I work with anyway are going to be using an LLC, so I'll select that one here, then click continue, and then you would just put in your information here to specify all your contact details for your account, and then click continue again. And then right here, if you have an existing LLC, again, that's kind of the assumption that I'm making if you're watching this video, you could click this right here and just let them know that. And if you don't already have an existing one, if you're trying to set it for the first time, then I guess you could just deselect this. And then this one right here, I would suggest selecting this one as well. It doesn't cost anything extra, at least in the state where I'm at. But this basically just means if you click this little question mark bubble that they're going to go ahead and file those annual reports for you so that you don't have to worry about it or think about it. In my mind, that's a huge part of the value of having this kind of service in the first place. So go ahead and do that. And there's also this premium mail forwarding and virtual office trademark and phone service thing. So I'll just quickly explain what these things are. So when you have a registered agent in any particular state, again, that mailing address is going to be on public record. And just by nature of the fact that that address is on public record means that address is going to start getting little bits of mail here and there. Sometimes it's junk mail, sometimes it's like legal compliance stuff, sometimes it's solicitations. I haven't gotten a ton of this in my experience, but something will probably come through at some point. And I believe for free, Northwest registered agent will send, I think, up to 5 to 10 pieces of mail per month, depending on the state, to you for free. Like if they get it, they'll just forward it to you either digitally or they'll send you the hard copy based on what you specify here. And I believe when I was talking to them, they told me that they would forward 5 to 10 pieces of mail per month for free, depending on the state where you're at. So not a whole lot of mail, but if you just get like a piece or two a month, they'll just forward that to you for no extra charge. But if you're planning to actually like use this as a serious address that you like put on your direct mail pieces that you're sending out, or just telling everybody and inviting all people, hey, send me mail at this address, you're probably going to want to sign up for this premium mail forwarding or even this virtual office option. And I'll quick explain what the differences are between those two. So with premium mail forwarding, you can basically set up an address in any one of these states to be your main business address. So say if I'm in Michigan, but I'm trying to do business in Montana or something like that, I could set up a business address in Montana this way. And whatever mail is sent there, I could either have them digitally scan and forward it to me, or I could have them physically forward that stuff to me, except for packages. So those are options you can do. However, if that's the main thing you're after, this is not personally what I do. I actually have a different service that I recommend for that for various reasons, and I'll have a link to that video beneath this video if you want to check it out. So if that's one of your primary needs, I mean, I personally would not do it through this just because it's not like the one thing that they specialize in. So I'm going to deselect this. However, just so you know, that is available if you're interested in that. There's also this thing called a virtual office. So in some states, it can become this issue where if you're doing business in that state, you need to be able to prove that you actually have a physical location with like an actual lease agreement and utility bills and things like that, just to show like you're not just renting some PO box, like you're really there. And that's actually what you can do through this service, where if you sign up for an address in one of these states and do this whole thing, not only will you get a mailing address there, but like you'll get an actual lease agreement with utility bills and evidence of that kind of stuff. So it really can make it look like you have a physical presence in that state. So if those are boxes you need to check for some reason, you can go ahead and do that here as well. And this also provides you with a phone, like a voice over interactive protocol, VoIP, like Google Voice service, if you sign up for the virtual office. Again, I actually have a different service that I recommend for that if you need a online cloud-based phone service. I'll have a link to that beneath this video as well if you want to check that out. So again, like if it were me, I would not do this, but you know who you are. If you're somebody who needs all of that stuff, you could sign up for this too. If we deselect this, you'll also notice that this phone service thing shows up. And this is what I was just talking about. This provides you with like a phone number that can forward to any other existing number that you have. Apparently there's like an app that they have that you can use for this, kind of similar to Google Voice. But again, if that's something that you need, what I currently use at the time of this recording is OpenPhone for this, and I've got a tutorial and explanation on how that all works. And again, I'll have a link to that beneath this video. And then trademark service. So a lot of real estate investors that I work with don't necessarily need this, but you know, if you're trying to start some big national or international business and that trademark branding is really important to you, you could select this as well. And that's kind of pricey to do that. So I'm definitely not going to do that for my purposes, but if you want to do that, you know who you are. Click continue here, and then you just put in your payment information and you're done. It's pretty straightforward and easy to use. If you need a registered agent, I hope you found this helpful just in understanding what a registered agent is and what they can do and why they might be useful. And again, if you need that, this is probably the best place I know to go ahead and sign up for that kind of thing. So thanks for watching. I wish you all the best. Talk to you again soon.